Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul-Esupofo. Thank you very much for this time. And I want to appreciate all of you for a wonderful time. It's been a very good time of this 90-day screenplay. And I must confess to you, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be powerful. And I've not been adding my own. I will add my own later because I believe you will see a lot of things as we go on. You will see a lot of things as we go on, and we're going to be getting a lot of things for you, and it's going to be powerful as we go on. Tonight is day nine of the screenplay. Day 9 of the screenplay. If you have been following, put in a comment. I've been following. I've been getting a lot of things, and now we had sometimes on it. And even the next 3 weeks, we'll see a lot of awesome thing that is needed to be done. Let me start with a quote like I used to. The quote I used to start with. I used to start with a quote. I want to know my whole story works before I start working. I want to know my whole story works before I start working. Tom Schulman. The title today is Subtext, the Nature of the Thing. And like I said, I'm not the owner of the book. I'm just using this to explain some things. Subtext, the nature of the thing. So Alan Watts is the owner from concept to polish. And you need to watch my video 1 and 2, day 1 and 2 to get a full detail, especially day 2, to get the full detail about all this thing as I go on. Now, subtext. Hi, screenwriters. If you feel like we are writing in circle, we need to understand how we write these things. If you feel like we're writing in the circle, we might be stuck in our idea of the story. Sometimes we can hold it so tightly. Sometimes we can hold so tightly to our ideas that we fail to explore the nature of the story. We might fear that if we let go of our area, of our idea, everything will collapse. And let me add this one. This is one of the things I've seen and I've encountered with people saying, by the time you're interpreting or putting the thing in place, they say, no, it's okay. Our idea is never the whole story. Our idea is never the whole story. And we are allowed to collapse our story has a chance. When we allow it to collapse, our story has a chance to become what it wants to be. This might seem scary at first, but let's consider taking the risk. Let's say we have a premise: the boy meets girl on the deck of an ocean liner as it ships off to sea and eventually sinks. As we hold it loosely, we might decide that since it was the story of Titanic, they could meet on the deck of the Hindenburg. The point is that the nature of the premise is unchanged, while the idea has shifted. Sometimes, with the new discovery, we are convinced that we now know our story fully and completely. And then a day later, our new idea is challenged again. This is the process. The truth is, we don't ever need to know the whole story. When we understand that we are merely channels, we can take the pressure off, and the possibility become endless because we are holding our story loosely. We are simply inquiring into the word and writing down what we see. We don't need to concern ourselves with how these things are connected. That comes later. Each plot point happening as a result of what happened previously. Our story builds upon itself. Our protagonist is always making decisions towards getting what he wants. Let's investigate what happened when our heroes advance in the face of worldly antagonists. Story is alchemy, ALCHEMY. It is through the opposing forces that our hero is transformed. It is through this our heroes are transformed. And as a kingdom filmmaker, I will say this before I go to the writing exercise for today. As a kingdom filmmaker, you know, God He revealed revelations to us. God give us some things. God give us ideas and give us revelation of what to do and how this is being done. and it is always a very good idea to bring about the best in whatever you're doing. And when you bring about the best in whatever you're doing, it becomes awesome. It becomes great. It becomes powerful. It becomes something that everybody will look at and say, wow, this is good. Okay? Let's now go to writing exercise for today. Number one, as your protagonist, write for 5 minutes. I hope some of you have been following. If you don't follow, you cannot be a great screenplay. And you have to be, as in fact, you have a lot of things, because this is a daily thing. And that's why I say, when you're specializing in an area, any area you're struggling with and you're really struggling, it may probably not be your area of specialization. But any area you're stretched and you go far, just like you go far, and brings a lot of things. So I said, write for 5 minutes, beginning with A. What brings me joy is ... end of quote. B, quote, what breaks my heart is ... end of quote. C, what makes me angry is ... end of quote. Number 2, now do the same for an antagonist. So if you have done that for protagonist, do the same thing for antagonist. Okay? Until tomorrow, how we say, okay, say you, but for me, I will say until tomorrow, don't just be creative, stay creative, and be a person of creativity. And before I say have a wonderful day, I will say thank you for those who have been subscribing. In case you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. It will bless your life. 2021 is loading already for us, and a lot of things are in place that we're going to put in place for you by the grace of God. Thank you so much. Don't forget, don't just be creative, stay creative, and be a person of creativity. Do have a wonderful